There comes a moment in the history of every nation when the point of no return is reached. It's not when the government goes bankrupt. It's not when the economy implodes. It's not even when crime dominates the streets. All of that is just a late-stage symptom. The true point of no return happens when the electorate itself becomes the most efficient weapon against its own country. And that is exactly where the final fall begins, when a significant portion of the electorate is misinformed, alienated, or easily manipulated. The impact isn't just confined to the election process, contaminates the entire national ecosystem, the people, the country, its institutions, and the economy. This isn't just a political problem, it is a seismic civilizational event. It's no longer about changing rulers. It's about an entire people marching towards an abyss, convinced they are moving forward. When millions vote in the dark, guided by impulse, illusions, or manufactured fantasies, the nation silently activates its own collapse protocol. A society that votes without understanding what it's doing transforms, without realizing it, into the involuntary engine of its own destruction. This environment is the perfect breeding ground for opportunistic leaders, not statesmen. This is kleptocracy, the government of thieves, sustained precisely by the population that is unaware of how it is being used. When the people cannot distinguish truth from falsehood, truth becomes irrelevant and crime becomes the rule. There is no healthy economy when incompetents occupy positions of command. The result is always the same: inflation, poverty, capital flight, unemployment, and stagnation. And yet, they dare to say no one could have predicted it. Yes, they could have if only the voter had looked beyond their own phone screen. Economies don't collapse overnight. They die like an infected organism, slowly, feverishly, degenerating. The consequences eventually boomerang back to those who voted. Inflation, unemployment, collapsed public services, insecurity, social decay, fewer opportunities, and lower wages. Everything is a consequence of poor choices made by a crowd that doesn't understand the weight of its actions. No democracy can withstand successive waves of blind votes. The legislative branch rots. The executive becomes parasitic. The judiciary crumbles from within. The press loses relevance. Society becomes brutalized. The line between right and wrong dissolves. The national ethic turns to ash, and the country becomes a grand laboratory of chaos. There is a point at which the country is no longer at risk. It is already condemned. But by something far more devastating. The thoughtless vote of someone who doesn't know the power they hold. The brutal truth is this: a country only sinks when ignorance becomes the majority and lucidity becomes the silent minority. The greatest weapon of a corrupt system isn't its power. The greatest weapon of a corrupt system is the voter who doesn't know what they are voting for. And they keep walking. And they keep voting. And they keep handing power to those who should never have received it. This is the final warning before the collapse. Either lucidity returns or the country falls, and it falls by its own choice.